Health and hygiene. Learning about community hygiene. Community hygiene. Community hygiene means health care of all the members of a community. It requires active involvement of the society. The ever-increasing overcrowding in cities and industrialization are some of the factors for unhygienic conditions prevailing in our surroundings. Primarily, it is the responsibility of the local civic agencies to maintain cleanliness and hygienic conditions in a locality. However, we must understand that keeping the environment clean is a collective responsibility. If each one of us cooperates in this effort, better results may be seen. For example, we see heaps of dirt and waste materials lying scattered in streets all around us. If each one of us takes care in disposing of the waste materials properly and decides to keep the surroundings clean, cleanliness can be improved. Following are some of the causes of poor community hygiene and measures suggested for maintaining it. Living space and housing. The population of a country has been continuously rising. It has reduced availability of land for different purposes such as agriculture, industries, roads and housing. The population in towns is also increasing. Rural population is migrating to cities for one or the other reasons. Overcrowding in cities has led to poor and unhygienic living conditions. Most of the houses are small with improper or no ventilation. Houses are poorly lit and with no proper toilets and drainage. Some of these conditions also exist in the rural areas. Safe water. Lack of safe drinking water contributes to many ailments, both of the individual and the community. Water meant for human consumption should be clean and free from disease-carrying germs, free from harmful chemical substances, and good to taste. If community health is to be maintained, provision of safe drinking water is necessary. If the community is using a well as a source of drinking water, then it is essential to keep it and its surroundings clean. This should be a collective responsibility. For example, the well should be covered from the top and should have a raised platform. Water can be made safe for drinking by chlorination. It is the process of adding bleaching powder or chlorine tablets to water. Chlorination of water is beneficial as it destroys the microorganisms present in it. Water-carrying microorganisms and harmful chemicals could cause many ailments like diarrhea and worms in the intestines. You must have seen people using earthen pots for storing water, particularly in rural areas. It is a healthy practice as sedimentation settles down the suspended impurities in water. Evaporation also cools the water. We are familiar with the use of alum for purification of water by loading the impurities present in it for drinking purpose, especially when the water is muddy. Pollution. Air, water and sunlight are nature's gifts to man. They are essential for health promotion. The harmful gases discharged from factories, automobiles, power plants and aeroplanes pollute air and water bodies. Besides this, the noise made by them also affects our health. The common health problems associated with pollution are headache, dizziness, extreme fatigue, and disability to hear. Water pollution also poses a serious threat. Village wells and ponds are often polluted by their improper use. For instance, washing of clothes or bathing of animals too close to the well or the pond can pollute the water in it. Other common sources of pollution of water are discharge of sewage, industrial waste, and other kinds of waste. Sometimes rainwater also carries with it fertilizers and insecticides to water bodies like rivers, ponds, and wells. Polluted water can cause and spread a large number of waterborne diseases like cholera, typhoid, hepatitis, and dysentery. Sanitation. It is essential to control all the factors that directly or indirectly affect a living space, surroundings, health, and survival. One such factor is disposal of waste both in solid and liquid forms. It may be in the form of waste water from houses containing human and animal excreta and waste from factories and industries. The best method for sanitary disposal of feces and other waste is the place where they do not pollute the sources of water and food supply or soil. The people living in rural areas and small towns are usually themselves responsible for the disposal of refuse from their houses. This can be done safely by adopting any one or more of the following methods. Dumping. Depositing the waste in pits in the low-lying areas away from populated areas, water sources, and agricultural land is known as dumping. The waste in the pits is covered with soil or sand after each dumping. The pit has to be covered completely with soil and sand once it gets filled up. Composting. This is used to dispose of waste like vegetable or agriculture waste, cow dung, urine, and human waste. The waste is put in specially dug pits. The waste in the pit is allowed to decompose once the pit gets filled. The waste gets converted into a compost in a few months, which is used as manure. Burning or destruction by fire. This is another method that is sometimes used to dispose of waste on a small scale. Usually, the solid waste is mixed with dry leaves or wood and then burnt. However, it should be used sparingly as it may cause pollution of air in the surroundings. Sewage treatment plants. These are used in big cities and towns for the disposal of domestic waste. The waste from houses are carried with the help of specially laid pipelines or sewer lines to the sewage treatment plant. In a sewage treatment plant, the solid waste is converted into manure and water is recycled after removing impurities. Prevention of communicable diseases. The diseases that spread from one person to another are called communicable diseases. The infection or the disease-causing agents get transmitted from humans, animals, or the environment to another human. Mumps, cough and cold, hepatitis, malaria, and tuberculosis are some of the common communicable diseases. In order to know the ways of prevention of communicable diseases, you must know how these diseases occur and spread. They can occur by breathing of air containing microorganisms, taking infected food or water, certain insect bites such as mosquito bite and malaria, contact with an infected person physically or by sharing common facilities like bed, clothes, and towel. Some suggestions for preventing, contacting, and spread of communicable diseases are: breathe in fresh air, drink clean and safe water, use a handkerchief while sneezing or coughing, protect food from flies, protect yourself from mosquito bites by using nets or suitable mosquito repellents, by washing clothes, utensils, and other personal effects used by a diseased person separately, preferably with hot water. Vaccination. Vaccination is a very effective method for preventing many dreaded diseases such as polio, cholera, and hepatitis. In our country, we have a national immunization schedule under which every child up to age of 5 years is vaccinated. You might be aware of the National Pulse Polio immunization programs. It has been undertaken to eradicate polio. Summary: teeth should be cleaned properly after every meal to remove the plaque and protect them from decaying and falling out. Lifestyles must be good and healthy. Habits like smoking, drinking alcohol, overeating, and drug addiction have ill effects on health. Deficiency of vitamin A in our diet may lead to a condition known as night blindness. Community hygiene means health care of all the members of a community. Chlorination is the process of adding bleaching powder or chlorine tablets to water to make it fit for drinking. Some of the health problems associated with pollution are headache, dizziness, fatigue, and difficulty in breathing. That's all in this chapter. Spread community hygiene and live a healthy and happy life.